Hello everyone, we'll see the next part in the module 3. So in the previous part we have seen what is a queue, that is first in first out. In the previous part also we have seen the array representation. In the queue the elements are stored in the form of array. So now here array is viewed in the form of a circle. You can see in the below diagram there the array is viewed in the form of circle. So each position in the array will be having the next position as well as the previous position. So whenever we want to map the elements in the circular array, so we need to follow the one equation there. You can see the equation there, location of I equal to location of front element plus I modulus of array length. By using this equation we can map the elements in the circular array. So we got the three diagrams. First one is initial one. So we have got three elements A, B, C and the back end and the front end. Back end is nothing but pushing the elements, front end is nothing but deleting or popping the element. In the next diagram B, you can see that we have pushed one element there, that is D from the back side. So now we have got four elements. In the next diagram we have popped, in the sense deleted one element. Now we have got three elements. In this way this circular array will work. So whenever the q back equal to q front equal to 0, in the sense the q will be empty, or q front equal to q back, then the queue will be empty or full. So here in this circular queue or a circular array, we cannot differentiate between empty or a full queue. So we should not allow or permit a queue to be full. So we need to change the length of the queue. Next we can see the class of an array queue. So this class of array queue follows the previous function, whatever, not the function, the equation, location of I equal to location of front elements plus I modulus of array length. By using this we can map the elements in the array queue. Now here it has got some members, that is q front, q back, the element. So you know what is a q back and what is a q front. Element is in order to insert the element in the array queue. You can see the class implementing the public queue. So here we have got the element member, q front, q back and the array length. Again we have got a constructor, destructor, empty, size, front, back, pop and push. So this is the class of the array queue. So whenever we want to push an element in the array queue, first we need to check that the circular array is full or not. If it is full, we need to double the size of the circular array queue. Already told you we should not allow the array queue to be full. So that code is written in the next page. If it is not full, we need to insert the element. So this is about that. So push function code. So here you can see that the circular queue can be viewed as flattened or linear queue. So if we view in that format, the position of the front will be 5, the position of the back will be 4. So in the figure we can see that C, we have doubled the length of the circular queue. So it will be in this format. In the figure D, we can see there the elements are right hand, some elements are left hand. So we need to push that element and we need to shift the elements. So in the figure E, you can see there we have done that A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H are in the form of linear. So in this way, whenever we flatten the array queue, so we can shift the elements. So next, this is the code for changing length of array queue whenever the queue will be full. So next, this code is for popping an element from the queue. So if the q front is equal to q back, in the sense what happens here, queue is empty or full. If the queue is empty, we cannot delete element. If the queue is not empty, so we need to delete the element by using the destruct. So this is about circular array.